Yep. Good evening, everyone. So, yesterday we learned some function related topics. We discussed about asynchronous function, debounce, and throttle. Am I right? So, today we will see about this debounce and throttle, how they work. So, function related all the topics list. Finally, I will give a summary. Yesterday we learned about promises, callbacks, asynchronous functions, and uh, now I need to give a detail about two things: debounce and throttle. So yesterday already we finished debounce. Let me give a overview about that. What is the concept of debounce we learned? Debounce means debounce is nothing but it is used to delay the task by some duration. It is used to delay the function by some duration. So it is debounce. Debounce is a mechanism of loading task into memory and delay the release of task into process by specific duration. That is the concept. So it will load task into memory and delay the release of task into process from memory. Generally, what happens when you run a task? First, it loads into memory and it is given to process. If it is immediately given to process, that is general. If we delay, then it is debounce. How you control debounce? So, how you control debounce? So, you can debounce. You can debounce any function by using set timeout. So you can cancel by using clear timeout. These are the two important concepts. Syntax: set timeout will use a function and it will use interval. I already told you real-time examples we will see in React. Here we are learning only topic because these are all JavaScript topics. We are learning the topic in JavaScript. People already learn all these. If not, they should know now. So once we are good, we will implement them in our React. So interval debounce is the concept. Now what is point about debounce is nothing but how it actually works. Simple process I will show. So debounce is going to, we have a memory and we have process. So we have task one. So we have a task one. First, what happens is this is memory and this is process. First, what happens? The task is loaded into memory. And from the memory, the task is removed and it is sent into process. And it will not be sent immediately. It will send by some delay. And important is after completed, if I want it again, again we need to load it into memory. That is debounce. We have another technique, throttle. Throttle means it loads the task into memory and it will release a copy of the task into process. Means every few seconds a copy is released. It will execute and finish. After few seconds another copy is released. That means it is going to execute the task repeatedly. How much time? How many? Until it is deleted from memory. If it is not deleted from memory, it will execute again and again. How many times? Indefinite. Now tell me in real time any task which runs forever. You started some work and it will run forever. Servers, anything else? I am asking about in an application, any task. For example, you have a stopwatch. So what a stopwatch will do? Start when it will stop. It is continuous until you stop. Means until you delete it from the memory. If you are not deleting from the memory, it will continue forever. So what is difference between timeout and throttle? Throttle is a very simple thing. For example, you have bikes, right? Bike, you will start your bike with ignition with a key. You rotate the key, it ignites and starts the engine. After engine starts, what will happen? You have a accelerator. What accelerator will do? Huh? What accelerator will do? It will raise engine. Huh? No, it will throttle engine. These are technical things, right? You are raising the accelerator. That is not raising, actually, you are throttling. Once an engine starts, it will throttle. Throttle means what? A sequence of operations are performed again and again, repeatedly, until you stop. Until you stop. This is the meaning of throttle. Timeout will execute only once. Throttle is going to repeat. For example, see, as I told you, later I will give you real examples. We will design. But just for syntax, let's see one concept. So what is debounce and what is throttle? Let's go to our project. Here, yesterday I given a debounce. I will copy this example. This is example of debounce. Huh? In this example, so we are going to execute. When I say volume up, a sequence of operations will perform one after another. But it will run only one time. It will delay. Yesterday we saw that how it delays, right? We can cancel from memory. Okay, what is throttle? Let's see. Suppose we have a line center on load. So body load. See, I'm writing here a script function on body load. We are having a simple var above I will give a function clock. So var now is equal to new date. You know how to declare date. Document dot query selector paragraph inner HTML. You know how we can access now dot to local time string. It is going to display the time. Now see what I am doing. I will give this, I will run this clock. What I will do is I will call using set timeout. I will call this clock and I will put some 1000 milliseconds. What timeout will do? It will load this function. After 1 second, it will release and it is done. Stop. You can see now after 1 second, when I refresh, after 1 second, it will come, then it will stop. So timeout is executing only once. Now you give this to interval. What it will do? It is going to continue. This is throttling. It will never stop. That means you don't write a loop. Without a loop, you can make it run several times, repeatedly, again and again. This is throttling. Later you will use in so many places. We can design a stopwatch, so many will do. But difference between debounce and throttle. Actually, they are in general CSS everywhere you can use. For example, if you have learned some CSS, I will show you. See, suppose you know CSS style. Suppose div width is 20, background color is red, height is also 30, and you can see there is a div. When mouse is over, its width will be 1000 pixel. And you can see it is immediate. Immediately it is 1000 pixel. Now what I want is, it is immediately 1000 pixel. What I will do is, I will give transition delay. Delay by 3 seconds. What does it means? It will add debounce. It will add debounce. Debounce means when I move the mouse, immediately it will not start. Wait for 3 seconds, then it will start. So debounce is everywhere. Only the point you need to recognize. Every small animation have a debounce. We don't want immediate. It will load slow. It will take some time. That is debounce. In future, you will see so many. For example, you see we have an button. So alert, okay, on click. So click, okay, let's write a script, click. And see what we are doing is, so alert, hi. Usually when I click the button, the alert will display immediately. But I want little delay, slow, don't immediately open. Then you know what you do. Set timeout. Set timeout. What you need to do. So it uses a function. This function will use what? Alert, hi, and it should take at least 5 seconds. It should take at least 5 seconds. So when I click the button alert, suppose you can even put some message. For example, we will access document.query selector div inner HTML. Please wait. We'll put some message. And when I click alert, it says please wait. And after that, an alert will come. after 5 seconds an alert will come. We don't want any task immediately. And remember, anything you can do after that document.query selector div inner HTML, you can make it empty. Suppose div initial width is some 1000, 100, 200 pixel, roughly I given like this. And you see color, I will give red, white. You see now when I click on alert, it says please wait. And after that, it shows an alert. And we will say, okay, now it is done. That means anything you see in a website, you click on, suppose this is Amazon, you click on this left button, it will slowly open from left side. That is debouncing. If it will not take time, suddenly it will appear a fast display. That means they are adding a debounce for that. It is taking some time. It is not immediately done. Everywhere debounce is required. In GUI applications, it is mandatory. Otherwise, user will click, suddenly some message disappears. So fast that he cannot notice. So we need to show him slowly. Right? That is the mechanism of debounce. And what is difference between debounce and throttle? What is throttle? Throttle is a mechanism where the task is loaded into memory and its copy is released into process at regular time intervals. That is the point. Throttle is a mechanism where a task is loaded into memory and its copy is released into process. That means what will happen? The task will repeat until removed from memory. Until you remove from memory, it repeats again and again, it repeats. So task will repeat until removed from memory. Right. That is throttle. So how you can throttle? You can throttle any function by using set interval. You can stop by using clear interval. So examples we will see later, right? I will just give a simple syntax. Set interval and a function. And we have time interval. Clear interval and a reference name. That is debounce and throttle. So how debounce works and how throttle. Right. So this is the concept of debounce and throttle. Function debounce and function throttle. Temporarily, I will copy this example. I will copy this example roughly. Right? So these are just basic JavaScript concept. So how we can use them. Later, as I told you, we will implement in so many real world examples. Right. I hope everyone clear. what is difference between time debounce and throttle? Debounce will delay the task and throttle will repeat the task, right? Next, after understanding this debounce and throttle in functions topic, we need to know another concept, function call stack. Another important topic you should know is about function call stack. Actually, this comes under another concept also, event loop. Later in events, you will understand that. Function call stack is very important. If you give some set of actions to any function, it will execute them in an order. It has an order that is called stack. That means you give some task, it will not do in the same way how you given. It has an order. That means the task given to any JavaScript app will be performed in a specific order. If you don't know that order and you give the task, you will expect one action performed, but it will do something else because you are not aware of the order of execution. What is order of execution? How the tasks are executed? What is the basic call stack is actually? So what is the meaning of this call stack? A function can execute the tasks in a specific order. A function can execute the tasks in a specific order. It uses a priority order for execution. It uses a priority order for execution, which is known as call stack. Which is known as call stack. What is that priority order is? First priority is given for normal task. Second priority is given for macro task. Second priority is for macro task. Second priority is given for macro task. Third priority is given for micro task. What is a macro task and what is a micro task? That means that is the order. Normal, macro, micro. That is the order. For example, see here. I'm writing a function. So script, we have a function, some demo. In this function, we are having a set timeout and a function. And I will put console log. And I am using macro task. So the macro task here. So that is the macro task. And we have console log. This is normal task. And we have a promise. Suppose obj is equal to new promise. We learned yesterday na, how we can use a promise. We can directly write. So promise uses a callback function. This have resolve and reject. And console log. So resolve is a function. This is micro task. Micro task. So this is macro, micro, and normal task. I given a wrong order. This is micro. This is macro. Macro is always last. First priority normal, second priority micro, third priority macro. That is the order. So you see now you have given these three actions. Object dot then it will execute a function, get the response, and console.log it should print the response. Already we learned promises yesterday, how to design them. Now in this function demo, how many tasks are present? How many actions I given in this function? 3. Right? In which order I written? Macro, normal, micro. Now usually when we call this demo, that means when we call the demo, so here before, if you don't call, it will not execute. You will see right click, inspect, and go to the console. It is empty now. And when I call demo, we are calling demo now. You can see that it is going to execute the task in this order. In any order you may write. The first priority is given for normal. Second priority is given for micro. Third priority is given for macro. How to create normal tasks? Any normal function is a normal task. Any promise is a micro. Any set timeout is an macro. Remember, here time interval I haven't given. Even I give time interval 0, right? So it will execute in the same order, right? So the task given to a function, they execute in specific order. So if you don't know this order, we expect one message first, but it will come later. Because we think that I written in order, I called in order. You may called in order, but it will not execute in the same order. It will verify, is it a promise? Is it a timeout? If it is promise, first priority. If it is timeout, second priority. If it is normal, it will first priority. Right? Above all. So there is an order of execution. We have an order of execution. This is called call stack, or people also call this as event loop. Event loop. In events, you will learn that, but better always use the term call stack. So what is these three? Normal task refers to a normal function. Micro task refers to a promise. Promise. It refers to a promise. So it uses a promise. And promise, yeah. And macro task refers to a debounce. Debounce usually done by using set timeout. Refers to a debounce. So this is the execution. How the tasks are executed. That is call stack. Right. I will copy a temporary example here. This is an example how the tasks are executed, how they are performed. I hope everyone clear. So In JavaScript, many times the functions that you call may not execute in the same order how you written. You should know them and put them in the function. You should know which one is a promise. You should know which one is an debounce. So based on that, we need to give the tasks, right? So this is the priority and we call it as function call stack, right? Next important, another concept you should know is about arrow. Arrow functions. What are arrow functions? What is the concept of arrow? Arrow is nothing but it is a shorthand technique of writing a function expression or callback. Arrow is not used for normal functions. Arrow is used only for function expressions or for function callbacks. We don't use for normal functions. Normal functions will not use arrow. What is difference between function and function expression? I told you. What is difference between a function and function expression? So we need to know about function and function expressions. We already learned it. How the shorthand works is, so a parenthesis, it refers to a function, parameter less. Parenthesis, parameter, this is function with parameter. Implies, this defines a function written. Implies with a block, this defines a function definition. Function written, function definition. What is definition, declaration, expression? All these points I already explained. We learned about them. So we have function parameters. So, and function. For example, generally, so without arrow, we write hello equal to a function. It will take some uname, so that is username, and it will print, it will return some hello and username. That's how generally we write a function without arrow. So with arrow, how this can be written? Constant hello is equal to uname and implies hello and whatever the uname you given. That's the shorthand way. With arrow technique, we write like this. That is the shorthand way of accessing, defining. And whenever you have only one parameter, then you can just write hello, uname implies, and you can print hello and whatever the uname is. What is dollar block, you know na? So that is a JavaScript data binding expression. It is allowed only in a string with backticks. Instead of using concat like plus, we use this technique. If there is only one parameter, you can simply write without any parenthesis. Suppose we are having, so with arrow, we are having a constant add is equal to So a function a comma b, and it returns a plus b. Now, sorry, without arrow. So with arrow, we write like this: a constant. So with arrow, add is equal to a comma b implies a plus b. That's it. That is the most simple and shorthand technique of writing a function. So in modern JavaScript, majority everywhere we use arrow. Everywhere, almost everywhere, wherever you write callbacks, we use arrow techniques. So you need to master this technique of writing shortcuts, because we don't use the word function every time or return every time. Suppose if there is no return, if any void is there. So if any void is there, what will happen? Suppose another syntax without arrow. Suppose you have a constant, some hello or say welcome function. It is just having some actions. That means statement 1, statement 2, so many are there. Then how you write with arrow? So we have to write constant. What is it? Welcome. And what we need to do? In a parenthesis, we need to just put a definition like this: statement 1 and statement 2. I hope you understood. So this is a void one. How you say it is void? Implies is having a block. That means it is an void. If implies is not having a block, that means it is written. It is written. If implies is having a block, it means definition, a void. It is not returning statements. It is executing those statements. It is not returning the statements. It is executing those statements. So that is the technique of arrow. As I told you, everywhere we use this. So shorthand, in future, whenever you write a function, we can use these options. Callbacks, promises, everything. For example, yesterday, one concept I given about promise. Let's do this. See, what I done yesterday is, so we have a constant. So we have a just like fetch data is equal to new what? Promise. It uses a function and it uses resolve and what? Reject. So we will use var URL is equal to prompt, enter URL. If URL is matching with server.com, that is a string. Okay, it should resolve and return some data. A array, B, C, some array it is returning. Otherwise, reject, it will display invalid URL. Okay. Now what we need to do? So we need to fetch data by using that, then uses a callback function. This callback function will get the response. Actually, that response is an array. How to read every element from array? We have to use response.map. It uses a callback function. It will read every item from array. This item is printed. Console.log. I will print every item. Every item we are reading and printing. Okay. Dot then we have a function. It will catch the error and console.log. Sorry. It should get, yeah, just log error. It should print the error na. And observe here, we are adding this. Now, when I run this, it is asking URL server.com. It should print the data A, B, C. So that is fine. It should just print the data A, B, C. That means it is reading them and it is printing one by one. Here, so many callbacks are used na. Function, function, function. They are all callbacks na. Am I right? Now I want you to write this in a shorthand way and show me. This entire logic, write in a shorthand way and show me now. Using arrow technique. Try now. I will see. This entire logic, you write in a shorthand way and show me. Shorthand way means wherever we have a callback, there you have to use arrow technique. And just now I told you arrow technique, how we write these syntaxes I given, how we write parenthesis implies. Now this you should write in an arrow. Try and show me. Because these are the type of work you have to do in future. So arrow means I should never see the word function. And return. Return word, function word should not be there. Here there is no return, no problem. Function word should not be there. The same logic, how you write in a shorthand way. So this is not then, this is what? Catch na? Catch on error. You will have then, catch, and finally. Finally not given, only these two. Done. Working. Check working. You please go home and this class is not for you. Huh? Take it easy. Go. Na go. Na go. No chance. No chance. Go. Go. Go out. And from tomorrow, don't attend my batch. Go. Today, leave. Take. Take it easy. No, take it easy. Go. If you've done this, then send me online people. People, if you done this, you send me the code, what you have done. I will check. Okay. So Vivek, fine. Anybody else? Okay. Now you cannot have function word. Who is this Rahul? You cannot have function word. Check once. Map, you are using function. There cannot be function word anywhere in your logic. Okay. Vaibhav, that is fine. Okay. Able to write? Right. So let's check how you configure this. Let's check how we define this. I just commented. So first, what you do, constant. What is it? Fetch data is equal to new promise. In that, we have a simple parenthesis. We have two parameters, resolve and reject, and implies, and curly brace block. Am I right? So we need where URL is prompt. This is normal logic. Enter name. After that, if URL is matching with some server.com, this is also same. Resolve. We will send an array A, B, C, something. After this, else, what we will do? So else, what we will do? Reject some invalid URL. Okay, this is your fetch. Now fetch data dot what? Then it uses a If only one parameter, no need of parenthesis, directly response. Understood? If there are many parameters, then parenthesis. So response dot map and read every item. Am right? Every item and just print that item. Console.log, print that item. That's it. Am I right? Dot catch and again get the error and console.log, print the error. Am I right? That's how we define. Am I right? You don't need a curly brace if there is only one statement to run. Not only just written, if there is only one statement to run, you don't need a curly brace. But use always curly brace, that is good, because it will avoid the compiler in understanding that it is some written. It is not written actually, but it will work. So this is shorthand technique of same thing. In future, you have to write everywhere like this. You need to write everywhere like this. So you need this option, and this is an example. I entered some URL server.com, then it should print all the same. So this is shorthand technique, how we write. Later, so many complicated things will come. Okay. So this is the concept of understanding arrow. I hope you are clear. So what are arrow functions? Arrow functions. Next important, you need to know about function methods. You need to know about function methods. Function methods. Another important part is function methods. What is this concept is actually every JavaScript function provides following methods. Every function has some methods. So what are those methods? We have call method, we have apply method, and we have a bind method. These are very important. Every function that you create in JavaScript, a function have these methods: call, apply, bind. These are important methods. In future, you have to use them mostly in events concept. We will have a separate discussion on events also. In events concept, we will understand about that. So every JavaScript function have these methods. Why they are required? I will show you the concept, why we need these functions. For example, see, we are having how these, yeah. So in this, what we are going to do, we have a constant, some data is an object. This object is having a name, some name Samsung TV. Okay, just roughly one object is present. Now what we are doing is we are having a function add to cart. This is a function. What this function will do is this function will take some name, so some details, like I will use some app name. Okay, just one parameter I given. Fine. What this have to do is it should print some message, document.write. I am printing a message. So here what it should do, it should access this product name and display the app name. That means what it should do, I should display here like this. We use this dot name. This refers to an object name, current object name. So name Samsung TV added to the app name cart. That is the message we want to print. Now we have a function. This function need to be called. When user clicks add to cart, we will call a function. How a function can be called? By using add to cart dot, we have call method. So add to cart is a function. It is having a call method. Into this call method, generally when you call like this, a function is called. And into the function, you can pass only the parameters that you configured. But by using call, we can pass additional data into function. If anyone asks in interview like, I have a function with a parameter, other than the parameter, can we pass more data into the function? Usually people think that parameter means only parameter, through parameter only we can pass data. But without parameter also we can pass data. That is possible by using call. Here you can pass data and you can pass the app name. App name is a string. App name I'm writing like a string. What is the app name? Amazon. That means now what it is going to do, this call function is going to send this data into this. I will put here. Yeah, it is going to send this data into this function name. I will put like this. It is sending into the function. And this parameter is sent into this. Am I right? Now, what is the data type of this data? Data type of this data is object. Na? In that object, there is a property called name. You can access that by using this dot name. That means why this dot name? This refers to the current memory. Into that memory, data is stored. In function memory, an extra data is stored along with the parameter. That means it is not just only the parameter. You can send more data other than parameter. Without parameter also we can pass data into a function by using which technique? Call. By using call technique. So for example, instead of taking a string, so I can put here simply like prompt. So prompt, and I can ask like enter app name. And usually what is the behavior here? It is asking app name. I said some Flipkart. Then it says Samsung TV added to Flipkart. That means you can send data into a function and use the data into a function without parameters. This is something important. Why this technique is required? Already we discussed having parameters is not safe. Right? We learn parameters. That's the reason we reduced the parameters. So how we reduced the parameters? By using REST. We learned REST parameter. So without parameters also we can send the data. But it should be an object type. Every data that you send is an object type. And you can access and you can use the data. So you run this, that means it is asking here. So enter. So app name Amazon, then added to Amazon cart. So what is the purpose of call? It will call the function and can pass data into function. It can call and pass the data into the function. What is the advantage of doing this is without parameters, you can send the data, you can access and you can use the data. So this will be very helpful, especially while working with events. Later, when we write events, I click add to cart of any product. That product data must be sent to the function. Generally, in shopping carts, what happens? Every product have an add to cart button. When you click, that product data is added into cart. How the data is sent? You can send in so many ways. Through parameter, you can send the data, or by using a bind. You can have a call method. You can use the call method. So what is the important role of this call method? So call is used to call a function, is used to call a function explicitly and pass a dynamic object. Generally, we call it as payload. So it is, payload is the data, right? Payload means payload is the data carried to a function. So you can send data without parameters. We can send data without parameters. So that is possible by using this technique. So it can access the data and it can use the data. So that is a call. So you can have parameters along with the data. You can have parameters also along with the data. So, but very important, parameters are passed as multiple arguments. Parameters are passed as multiple arguments. We pass them as multiple arguments. Multiple arguments. Multiple arguments. So we have syntactically function name dot call, an object, and parameter 1, parameter 2. If we want, we can pass multiple parameters also. So that is the call technique. What is difference between call and apply? Apply is also same, but the parameter must be array type. That means multiple parameters you can pass like an array. What is advantage? You know, array can spread into individual references. So you have another apply is same as array, the same as call, but allows multiple parameters as an array. Multiple parameters as an array. Arguments must be array type. Argument must be array. we can pass multiple arguments. So it will be syntactically same. So we have a function name dot apply object and array. This is param1, param2. This times how many arguments are passed? Only one, but that one argument can contain multiple. One argument can contain multiple. That means what is the specialty of apply? It can spread. It can spread these arguments. It can spread those arguments. So call cannot spread the arguments. It must be a value which is not array. So that is option add to here we'll see. Suppose I'm having quantity also. Then you say Samsung item added to cart. Here I will put a BR added to cart. In the next line, total number of quantity is how much? QTY. That means what we need to do here, we need to pass the prompt for app name and we need to pass one more prompt. This is for enter quantity. Enter quantity. So we are, or directly you can pass the values. Enter app name Amazon and quantity is 2. It will say quantity is 2. You can have multiple. Directly you can pass them. Those arguments can be directly passed, right? Now what you can do is, you can do that by using what? Apply. But apply requires, you see through apply, I run this app name, some Amazon quantity 2, it's not working. You can see create a list from an array like. Right? That means now these two parameters, prompt 1, prompt 2, they must be array type. That means we need to pass array values, some Amazon and 2, then it will get that. It should be an array type. It can automatically spread them into 2 parameters. So what is the specialty of apply? Apply method can spread the array arguments into individual references. One argument that can spread into multiple. That is the specialty of apply. So every function have methods. So we have a call method to call the functions. We have a apply method to call the function. And we have a bind method. What this bind method is going to do is, it will call the function and it will store the result in another function. That means it will call the function, it will run the function, and whatever result comes, it will store in a new function. That means we can create a copy of the function, we can execute the functionality, and we can use the copy by using, that means same functionality we need 2 places. If same functionality we need 2 places, what we will do is, at one place when we call, whatever result comes, we can bind that result to another function so that that function can use the same result. The result of a function can be copied into another function. How you copy the result of a function into another function by using which technique? Bind. By using bind technique, we can do that. Actually, so I will copy this example. This is an example, right? That is an example. Suppose you see this is the result. I will create another function called, so this is cart duplicate. Cart duplicate. Into that we are assigning this. And this time we are not using apply. We are using what? Bind. Now what will happen is I will just simply put a console log to understand what is this cart duplicate. What is that cart duplicate? Actually, cart duplicate contains a function. If you want, you can call the cart duplicate function. Now what it contains, all the functionality that is defined by using this. Add to cart, whatever functionality happened, it can be now accessed using another duplicate function. And what is that function name? Cart duplicate. So that means what happens is bind is going to, we say Amazon and I say 2, it will do same. But you see it is added Samsung added to cart. And what is that? Amazon to cart. So that means what is this Amazon to cart is doing? Quantity is undefined. Why it is doing? Because into the duplicate we need to pass the quantity. Suppose I need to pass the app name and quantity because you are calling this function. This function needs a quantity. So right, this function needs a quantity. At one place, one quantity, another place I passed another quantity. I given another quantity. So you see here I am running, suppose Amazon and 2, you see it will be 3. Now why it is 3? What is the concept here? That means why it is 3? Because you are passing a new one. That means first function is using 2, second function is using 3. Same functionality worked for these people also. I will use one more here. What is another one? I will say Amazon or Flipkart, something. Flipkart. We are passing 2 arguments into this. That means what will happen? I will enter the name. What is that? I will use Amazon and you see quantity is 2. So you see first one added to Amazon, second one is added to, sorry, quantity is not, order is missing. Now this name we cannot do that. Yeah, this is enough because we have to again use the method called what? Call. So that we can call the object. You need an object, na? This time you can pass some new object. Why you created a duplicate function? Because I want to use the same functionality but different data. We will pass a different data and handle in a different way. This requires little bit knowledge of concept like events. When I teach you about events, I will show you how we can manage them. But what is bind advantage is it can copy the result and it can bind the result to another function. That means whatever functionality you done, you can copy into another function. The same can be done using 2 techniques. For example, you have seen websites like where we can explain this. Let's say simple copy. If I want to copy, then what are the techniques we are having? We can use Control C for copy. We can right click and say copy. We can go to edit menu and say copy. That means the same thing can be done from different places, right? That means we need the same functionality with 3 different situations. With a shortcut, it should copy. With a menu, it should copy. So with a right click, it should copy. How the same functionality can be duplicated so many times? By using which technique? Bind. But this requires little knowledge on events. I will show you on event. So what is the concept of bind? One simple point I will give. What bind can do? So bind method can execute, can call the function and copy the actions into a new reference. It can call the function and copy to a new reference. Actually, this copying is called, copy is nothing but bind. It is binding the functionality to a new one. So that can be done using bind. So syntactically, new function is equal to function name dot call object and parameter 1, parameter 2, like this we can define. So you can access the new function and we can use anywhere. We can simply call this. We can again apply a call or bind or apply methods on this. So this is a bind technique. I will copy this for you. So where we use these function methods mostly while working with events. Later in events, I will explain one more time with example. Practically how we use in apps. We will see that. So I hope you are clear. Now these are all the function topics you need to know. Actually, we have some more topics like memorize, caching, which you will learn in React. So these are all the basics of function. Advanced level, basic level, what you need to know about function. Now this knowledge we have to implement in our React. That we will see tomorrow. Right, in tomorrow's session, what we are going to do, use these functions and design a UI in React. We will go back to our React project and we will start building the UI. We will see how to do that. Tomorrow we'll continue. Okay, right.